What if every coincidence was a secret message, just waiting to be decoded? Every symbol, every unexpected encounter, every repeated number, dream, or sign, none of them are random. You've been guided your entire life, but most people miss the message. They call it coincidence. Edgar Cayce didn't. In this video, you're going to discover why coincidence does not exist and how the universe speaks in symbols, dreams, and synchronicities to those who are ready to listen. Stay until the end and you'll never see the world the same way again. There comes a moment in every awakening soul's journey when the veil begins to lift. Patterns that once seemed accidental begin to form a subtle rhythm, one that whispers instead of shouts, a dream that predicts a future event, a song on the radio that answers your deepest question, the number 1111 appearing on clocks just when you feel most lost. Are these just quirks of chance, or is someone guiding you? The term coincidence is a clever disguise. It masks the mysterious forces shaping our lives with a sterile label. When Edgar Cayce spoke about the invisible intelligence behind the physical world, he hinted at this truth. Nothing ever happens without purpose. Everything is interconnected. Your thoughts, your emotions, your past lives, and the very fabric of the cosmos. In Cayce's readings, he explained that the universe communicates through what he called vibrational correspondence. That means your inner state, your frequency, magnetizes outer events. You aren't just reacting to reality, you're in constant dialogue with it. Your soul speaks in symbols, and the universe responds in echoes. To call something a coincidence is to dismiss your own soul's language. That's why spiritual awakening begins with awareness, the ability to pause and ask, what is this moment trying to show me? When you start paying attention, you realize you've been surrounded by messages all along, but the mind, conditioned by logic and fear, filters them out. In truth, there is a sacred intelligence within all things, a divine matrix that responds to your vibration with exact precision. Every coincidence is a breadcrumb, an invitation to awaken to a higher reality. And once you accept that invitation, your life begins to unfold like a living oracle, no longer random, no longer silent. Have you ever had a dream so vivid it stayed with you for years, or seen a strange animal cross your path right after a moment of deep thought? That wasn't random. Symbols are how your soul speaks when words fall short, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows how to answer you without a single sound. Edgar Cayce often spoke of symbols as divine fingerprints left in the physical world. He believed every symbol, whether it appears in dreams, visions, or waking life, carries meaning rooted in your personal and spiritual evolution. A butterfly may seem ordinary to most, but for someone who just lost a loved one, it might be a sign of transformation or even a message from the other side. The key is this: symbols are not one size fits all. They're alive. They adapt to your consciousness, your story, your growth. A crow for one person may symbolize death, for another deep wisdom. The same symbol holds different vibrations depending on who sees it and when. This is why spiritual sensitivity is so important. When you begin to honor your intuition, you unlock a deeper layer of perception. You no longer just see a symbol, you feel it. You recognize its message, not just with your mind, but with your energy. It's like learning to read the wind. There's nothing obvious to the eye, but everything is whispering if you're willing to listen. And once you speak the language of symbols, life becomes a dialogue between your soul and the cosmos. The world transforms from a chaotic blur into a sacred mirror. You stop chasing answers and begin receiving them in ways more magical than you ever imagined. Most people believe thoughts are private, that they come and go without consequence. But what if your thoughts weren't just internal noise? What if they were blueprints, templates, shaping what the universe reflects back to you? Edgar Cayce taught that every thought is a creative force, and the moment you think, you begin to build. The universe isn't responding to what you say you want. It responds to the dominant pattern of your mind. It hears your vibration louder than your words. If you're always worried, you'll attract events that keep worry alive. If you carry faith and openness, synchronicities begin to flow into your path like gentle waves. That's why recognizing so-called coincidences is so crucial. They are evidence, proof, that your thoughts have started to crystallize in the outer world. A friend you were just thinking about calls. An opportunity appears the moment you surrender. These are not lucky breaks. they are reflections. Cayce often emphasized that thought vibrations attract spiritual forces, both light and dark. You are not alone in the creative field. You are co-creating with energies that align with your frequency. When you understand this, you stop reacting and start choosing. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I radiating that's drawing this in? This is the sacred pattern behind every random event, a map being drawn by your consciousness. And once you understand how the map works, you stop walking in circles. You begin moving with intention, and the universe, like a mirror, shifts to reflect your clarity. There is a part of you that never sleeps. It sees beyond time, beyond illusion, beyond fear. Some call it the higher self, others call it the soul. Cayce believed it was the eternal part of us, always connected to the divine, and this higher consciousness is constantly trying to reach you through symbols, dreams, and quiet whispers in your heart. Think of your dreams, not as random images, but as coded messages. Your soul uses dreams the way an artist uses colors, each one chosen with intention. A house in a dream may represent the self. Water often mirrors emotions. Flying can indicate spiritual elevation. When you begin to decode these symbols, your dreams become prophecy, not of fate, but of your deepest truth trying to rise to the surface. But guidance isn't limited to sleep. Signs follow you everywhere. That book falling off the shelf, the stranger who says the exact words you needed to hear, the repeating numbers, 1 to 11, 222, 333. These are not curiosities. They are echoes of the divine speaking through your reality. And the more you align with your inner self, the louder these echoes become. The universe doesn't scream. It responds to your awareness. If you live in distraction, the signs become subtle. But when you live in presence, the signs are unmistakable. They light your path like stars in the night sky. Cayce taught that intuition is the language of the soul. It doesn't speak in logic, it speaks in resonance, that feeling in your gut, that unexplainable knowing, that gentle pull in one direction, and that uneasy nudge in another. These are not feelings to ignore. They are sacred instructions from the part of you that sees the full picture. There's a moment, sudden, unmistakable, when life seems to answer you. You ask a question in your heart and the world replies, maybe through a line in a song, a conversation overheard, or a vivid symbol on a passing billboard. That's synchronicity. And it's not just a beautiful accident. It's the universe showing you, I'm listening, I'm here. Carl Jung, who famously coined the term synchronicity, believed it was a bridge between your inner world and the outer one. Edgar Cayce went even further. He said synchronicity is evidence that the soul is in alignment, that your spiritual frequency is beginning to shape the events of your physical life. These synchronistic events are like knots in the invisible web that connects everything. They remind us that we are not separate from life. We are in conversation with it. And when you begin to notice synchronicity, it multiplies. The more you see it, the more it shows up, because awareness magnetizes more awareness. But here's the deeper secret. Synchronicity isn't just random magic. It responds to clarity, honesty, and alignment. The more truthful you are with yourself, the clearer your path becomes. The more you follow your heart, the more doors seem to open just as you approach them. This is not coincidence, it's divine architecture at work. So next time, the universe sends you a sign, a symbol, a meeting, a perfectly timed miracle, don't brush it off. Pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Because in that quiet moment of listening, you begin to live not just in the world, but with it, as a co-creator, as a conscious participant in the great cosmic dance. We often wish the universe would just speak in plain language, but it does. It's just not English or any spoken tongue. It's symbolic, emotional, vibrational. The challenge isn't that the universe doesn't talk to us. The challenge is that most of us were never taught how to listen. Edgar Cayce encouraged seekers to develop what he called spiritual discernment, the ability to decode symbols through intuition, not intellect. That means instead of running to Google every time you see a hawk or dream of water, you pause and ask yourself, what does this mean to me, right now, in this moment of my life? Symbolism is deeply personal. A key might represent opportunity to one person and security to another. A storm might feel like chaos or cleansing. The message lives in the feeling the symbol brings, not just the symbol itself. That's why no dictionary of symbols can ever replace the wisdom of your own inner knowing. The most powerful practice is journaling. Write down the signs you see. Track recurring numbers, dreams, and synchronicities. Ask questions and write what comes. Over time, you begin to notice patterns. You see how your soul speaks in metaphors, repeating certain images to get your attention. The more you engage with the language, the more fluent you become. And the reward for this fluency? Clarity, peace, direction. You no longer feel like you're stumbling in the dark, hoping for the best. You move with confidence because you know you're being guided, and each symbol becomes a sacred thread, pulling you deeper into your true path, one message at a time. Behind the beauty and chaos of life there is order, a vast intelligence that coordinates the blooming of flowers, the rotation of galaxies, the rhythm of your breath, and yes, even your life's most mysterious moments. Edgar Cayce believed this intelligence was not separate from us. He called it the creative forces, always active, always listening, always responding. Modern science speaks of quantum entanglement, particles separated by distance still affecting one another instantly. Cayce's version of this wasn't physics, it was metaphysics. He taught that your thoughts and emotions ripple outward into this universal field, attracting experiences that reflect your inner landscape. What we call coincidence is actually feedback. Everything you see around you is part of this divine feedback loop. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, the struggles and blessings, they all arise from a deeper system. Not one that punishes or rewards, but one that mirrors. Life isn't random, because your consciousness isn't random. It's focused energy, shaping the world around you moment by moment. This is what makes your awakening so powerful. When you start shifting your energy, choosing love over fear, gratitude over resistance, the matrix rearranges itself to match your vibration. People who once ignored you now notice. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Time bends, and symbols rain down like sacred breadcrumbs, guiding your every step. The more you trust this divine intelligence, the more you realize the universe is not a machine. It's a living being, responding to your soul. It is not mechanical, it's mystical. And every sign, every symbol, every so-called coincidence is proof that you are seen, known, and profoundly supported. There's a threshold in every spiritual journey where life stops happening to you and starts happening through you. When you step into alignment, you don't need to force outcomes or chase after signs. You become the very vessel through which synchronicity flows. The miracle is no longer external, it's who you are. Edgar Cayce often spoke of attunement, living in such harmony with your higher self that guidance becomes effortless. In this state, your thoughts, emotions, and actions resonate with your soul's purpose. You stop questioning if you're on the right path because everything around you starts affirming it. Doors open, people show up, the right words fall from your lips without planning. It's not magic, it's alignment, but alignment requires one powerful ingredient: presence. The more present you are, the more symbolic the world becomes. You start to notice the bird that sings just as you ask a question, the sudden breeze when you say yes to something scary, the light flickering. At the precise moment you feel doubt creeping in. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations, and your job is to notice. To become a conduit, you must purify your inner world. Let go of cynicism, release fear, tune into your intuition, feed your spirit with truth, beauty, and silence. The more still your inner waters, the clearer the reflection of divine intelligence. You become like a tuning fork for the sacred. In this state, you no longer beg for signs. They arrive uninvited. You no longer doubt your path. It reveals itself with grace. You begin to embody the message that the universe is alive, aware, and speaking through you. And once you reach that point, you don't need to search for miracles. You become the miracle. At some point, every soul asks the question, why did this happen to me? Whether it's a heartbreak, a loss, a dream that never came true, or a path that shattered beneath your feet, it's human to look at life and see chaos. But when you begin to see the world through the lens of the spirit, a deeper truth emerges. Chaos is only disorder to the eyes that haven't yet learned to see. Edgar Cayce taught that what we perceive as randomness is often divine precision in disguise, that the very events that break us open are the same ones that awaken us. He believed that our soul writes a blueprint before birth, embedding key people, trials, gifts, and moments of awakening into the fabric of our timeline, not as punishments, but as catalysts. And those catalysts, they rarely arrive dressed as comfort. They often come dressed as disruption. But this is the paradox. Those disruptions, those seemingly chaotic moments, often carry the deepest order. It's in the breakup that we find our independence, in the illness that we discover purpose, in the silence after loss that we finally hear the voice of the divine. None of it is random. It is all synchronized with a love greater than logic, one that cares more about your evolution than your temporary comfort. Look back at your life now. Truly reflect. Can you see the threads? The moments that felt like endings, but were really beginnings. The chance encounters that changed everything. The gut feelings that warned you or guided you. You were never alone in any of it. The universe has always been speaking, always weaving your growth through the language of symbols, signs, and soul events. When you adopt this spiritual vision, something shifts forever. You stop trying to control everything. You no longer need the answers to every why, because your heart begins to trust the design, even when your mind doesn't understand it. You begin to walk not with certainty, but with faith, and that's more powerful than any plan. Cayce often emphasized the power of surrender, not in weakness, but in alignment. Surrender is not giving up. It is giving over to a force wiser, deeper, more ancient than your personality could ever grasp. And in surrender, something miraculous happens. Synchronicity becomes your rhythm. Intuition becomes your compass. And life, instead of a puzzle, becomes a poem. Here's the truth. The universe has no interest in punishing you. It is not a judge. It is a mirror. And the more you awaken, the more it responds with clarity, beauty, and unimaginable support. Your job is not to figure everything out, but to become still enough, aware enough to notice what's already unfolding before you. You are not broken. You are not behind. You have not missed your destiny. You are exactly where you need to be. For the next message to reach you, it may come in the form of a dream, a conversation, a failure, or a symbol so subtle that the old version of you would have ignored it. But not anymore, because now you are listening. And here's the final gift. When you live in this space of attuned awareness, you become a guide for others. Your presence becomes symbolic. Your words become medicine. Your life becomes the sign someone else is praying for. You no longer just witness miracles. You are one. So remember this. Coincidence does not exist. The universe speaks, always, through symbols, through dreams, through the rhythm of your experiences. And when you choose to listen, not with your ears, but with your soul, you enter into sacred partnership with life itself. Not everything will be easy, but everything will be meaningful. And from this day forward, you'll never look at a random moment the same way again. If this message stirred something deep within you, it's not by chance. It's your sign. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and comment below. What synchronicities have been showing up in your life lately? Let's awaken the collective together, symbol by symbol, soul by soul.